It has been a long while since we have looked at a NASCAR Authentics diecast, but today the NASCAR Authentics line returns for Ross Chastain and his 2022 Moose Fraternity Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Trackhouse Racing. But here's the special part of this diecast. This is not the clean version or the Talladega win. In fact, this is the full-on wall ride Martinsville raced version from the 2022 Martinsville playoff race in last year's October race at Martinsville. A very exciting diecast right here, and usually I would keep something like this in the package, but the special gimmick of this car, of course, being the right side scratches on it. You know, in this package, you can't see it. You really can't see the scratches because the way these cars are packaged, where you can see the left side of the car, you're not able to see all the cool race version detail unless you flip it over like this, and it's super hard to see. So I will be finding a special way to display this car. But for now, we have it in here, getting ready to be unboxed and reviewed for that reason. Honestly, I wish this was the only car that they would have packaged a different way, like so we can see the damage on it, because when you package it like this, you cannot see the race version damage. It's so unfortunate, because this thing is so cool. So yeah, definitely going to be unboxing and reviewing this one, and giving it a better package, so that we could see the design. And I will show you guys how I'm going to do that. I have a diecast case that this is going to go in. It doesn't have a car in it, so that's probably how I'll have to display this one. I'll show you guys that later. And then, of course, here's the wave. I have to do it like this. So we have that one. I'll tell you all the cars I have from this wave. I got this one. I bought this car last year. I just got this one. The Daniel Suarez I got. That one and the Toyota. And I do not have these two. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them, if I'm going to complete the set. But those two are available as well. So without further ado, let's get this Ross Chastain wall ride race version out of the package. I have not unboxed an Authentics car in a while, so this is kind of a refreshing thing for me. So here's the diecast out of the box with the whole right side scratched up. Man, that is cool. Let's get this box out of the way. I'm going to keep the package. I'm not going to throw it away. Let's start out with the sticker this thing came with, and you're going to see how scratched up this car was. Now, it's a pretty cool sticker. It's definitely a unique sticker, and what's cool about this sticker is that you could also see the rims that got scratched up during the race. When he was wall riding, even the rims really got, it almost looks like the rims got curved, but they were just scratching up against the wall along with the sides of the car, the right side. So the fenders and stuff and the wrap was not the only thing that got messed up in this wall ride. But here's the Moose Fraternity Ross Chastain sticker. Put that up here, or I could just put it back here. Here's the diecast out of the box, and this is exactly why I unboxed this one, because look at this, the wall ride damage on this car. Look at that. And one weird thing that I'm noticing off the bat, look at the Moose logo on this side, but then look at this side. You can barely make out the Moose logo. Like, look how like whited out that looks. I'm not sure if this is my diecast that's like this. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let me take it out of the light. Okay, it's still sort of hard to read. I know the lighting is making it look like the letters are really, like, you can't see, like, the holes in the letter O and, like, the holes in the letter B. It's just super thick. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this side, how much easier it is to read. And then on this side, it's like, wow, and it had to be on the side with all the damage. But, you know, that's just... Is your Ross Chastain car like this? Please let me know in the comment section if that's the way it is. But yeah, guys, I'm not sure if I'm going to review the actual paint scheme itself, because I want to spend more of my time on the race version details of it. More than anything else, there have been people that have reviewed this paint scheme on the Talladega race win, and this car was never produced in the clean version. But I will at least try to cover up the sponsors. Just cover the sponsors. Got number one right there, Trackhouse, the ZL1 Camaro with the grille detail, the full-on race version detail. On the front right there, you have Moose Fraternity right there with the hood vents. You have Chevrolet, Chastain, and this is the first ever NASCAR Authentics diecast to have fully printed windows since like 2017, 16? Since that's been a while, but man, I really like how they actually put the window printing on this. And this is actually more accurate than the Gold Series release, because the Gold Series release never had the yellow banner. So pretty cool to have it on the Authentics. So this is probably the best way to get this diecast is in this Authentics wave, which is why I waited till now to get it. You got Sunoco right there. And we'll look at all the decals first before we get to all the race version damage. We got Sunoco, Goodyear NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs. You have the round of 8 right there, and a special logo right there that I'm not able to read. You have number 1. You have Ross Chastain. You got 2 race winner stickers right there. Then you have Chevrolet, Advent Health, and Trackhouse. You have bmoose.org. You have Advent Health, the pit arrow indicator, so they know where to lift them up. You got Siemens. You have the bioethanol logo right there, which is a bit more realistic than on the standard finish. Then, of course, Worldwide Express and Jockey, which is clawed up by some tire damage right there. Donuts. On the back of this car, you're going to have Chevrolet. You got the Camaro, Trackhouse, Moose Fraternity, number 1, ZL1 Camaro. This camera's really not wanting to focus in on this thing. You got Moose. Chastain with the fully detailed windshield banner. Wow, this is nice. The entire back window is covered in printed details, which is super cool, just like the front. You even have like the little sun blocking thing right there. The sunblock, I guess. I'm not sure what you would call that. Moose Fraternity in the number 1 as well. I mean, there are so many details on the windshield banner. Like, you have all like the holes, the vents, the lines in the windshield. They started adding some of these on the Authentics cars, but just very particular ones, not every one of them. And on the Gold Series as well. The Gold Series was when they started doing more window printing. And even some of the cars in the, the Advent calendar are going to have some window printing as well, which is super cool. The race versions are going to have window printing, so finally we're going to be able to get some more window printing. It's going to become more common. Of course, you're going to have the little, the tear-offs right there in white. Got a bit of yellow right there, probably a little bit of arrows. It's hard for me to read from so far. And then, of course, the little air vent so the driver can breathe, and the little sun blockage thing on the window. Got the 2 little bars right there, and of course, the basic outlines to the window. Pretty cool. Nice to have detailed windshield banners. It's really refreshing to see. And that's really it for sponsors. So like I said, as far as the paint scheme, I'm not going to fully review this scheme because I'm really more focused on the race version damage. But if you want my opinion on it, it's a very cool red and black design. I love the gradient designs on it. I love how it has the moose on it as well on the side, and just the gradients, like, it almost looks chrome, but it's really just a bunch of black and red gradients. And it looks cool. I love, it's like a really solid design. It's a really good scheme. The black and red and white really go together. It's a really common color scheme, but nonetheless, it looks super good on this diecast. But that's as far as I'm going to go for the diecast, the paint scheme, because I am more focused on the race version damage. So before we get to that, it's a playoff car, so you're going to get a yellow spoiler and a windshield banner in yellow as well. And it's worth pointing out this thing has Rob Rose on it, on the windshield name bar right there, Rob Rose, whereas on this side it's Ross Chastain. So there's a couple little small differences here and there. Of course, got a little different sticker right there. Fortunately, I cannot read that, and it doesn't even look to be lined up properly. Could be wrong about that, but anything is possible with this company. So let's start out with the race version damage. We got the hood vents right there. You have the tape. So you got 2 circles right there, 2 circles right there, and the big rectangular grill opening. Not really much to speak of on the grill because they are not allowed to put tape. And you got some tire buildup onto the hood right here, and anywhere that's white, you're going to have a lot of that tire buildup. But you can see it pretty well on the red also. Pretty nice to see it, the tire buildup being so visible on other colors. So let's start out with this side before we get to the really exciting part of this diecast, which is the right side. But we're going to start out with the left. The camera can focus in on this car. So the left side of it is pretty clean. Fairly clean, actually. Got some nick marks on it around the fenders right there. Got a bit of a scratch. So pretty much probably being moved out of the way and used up by his competitors throughout the race. So that's probably what caused some of these damages. Got a bit of damage right there. Got the tire donuts right there, so he must have been hitting the rear quarter panels at some point in the race. A few scuffs right here as well. Got some more of that tire buildup, especially on the white letters of the Moose logo and on the number 1. Of course, the pit arrow indicator and all that stuff. Got a few more scratches. But it's really the damage and scratches are really scattered on this side. It's not covered in scratches and marks because this is not the side that was scraping the wall. The back of it, wouldn't surprise me if there's some sort of damage on it. There actually is a bit of scratches on the Camaro logo and a bit on the recorder panel right there. Got some damage. On the deck lid, not really anything. The roof, got some of the tire buildup. Got a big piece of it right there. And then the exciting part. Dun 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 dun. The right side is completely scratched and scuffed to hell. First off, you're going to have the front corner, which was when he was dragging the fence. Bam! Entering the wall. He is just digging in and just scratching his car to the max. Just grinding it. Stuck it in 5th gear. And just grind it around the right side wall. And of course, you're going to see a whole lot of scratches right here. You got like 2 big chips right there. Massive like scratch around the wheel well right there. Got some splitter damage. Then, of course, you're going to have another mark right there. And then this is the part right here where he really rode that wall. And it's got a lot of damage. He scratched this thing up so bad that you could actually see some of the carbon fiber, like, sort of, like, fiberglass texture right there. Because, look at that. You could see sort of, like, the texturing to it. That's how hard he nailed the wall. Or just grinded the wall. Rode it like pretty much like a Hot Wheels toy where they're just constantly riding walls. And sort of how, what do you think about it is like the Hot Wheels, whenever they're riding the walls, the rims would get all scratched up. I know the Diecast doesn't have that. That might actually be a fun thing to do in the future, like scratch up these wheels to look like the real car. Could be something I do down the road. But yeah, you got a scratch right through the top of the 1. A lot of scratches by the Goodyear and the Cup Series and the Round of 8 logo. Very, very scratched up. This is probably the most scratched up of any part of it. And then, of course, the sides of the underbody are junked. They are scratched. And, of course, got some more chips right there, just tearing the wrap. Not much, like, body damage. I know they can't really do body damage on 164, but it wouldn't surprise me if in real life it had a little bit of it, but not a lot, because these cars are so rigid and stiff that made this possible to begin with. So, yeah, scratched up side of the underbody. That's why you get a more realistic-looking side marker. The exhaust and all that. Got a scratch on the Moose right there on the S, and then right on the rear hip of this car, got some really big scratches right there, huge monster paint chips right here from when he scratched on the wall right there, when he wall rode. Man, I'm running out of ways to describe it 10 different times about how he just wall rode this thing, and he was on the throttle the entire time. His hands, I believe, were off the wheel. He just let the car just kind of just ride right there. But man, absolutely incredible move that got him into the championship 4. And honestly, Denny Hamlin really did earn that spot. So this was kind of a gimmicky thing. I'm not going to go too far into it. But it's just cool to have the Diecast at least, to pay tribute to that memory. And when I first saw this, I really thought this was just sped up footage. It wasn't. It was actually what happened. So that is a big shock and surprise to this day that Ross Chastain was willing to pull this. Honestly, I'm like kind of surprised and half not surprised because he was already kind of a wild, crazy driver before that. So it doesn't really surprise me he would try something like this. It's called the video game move, even though if you did that exact same move on NASCAR Rivals, the car would not be able to make it. So it's just kind of crazy how in NASCAR Rivals and in real life, the real life thing actually worked, whereas the NASCAR Rivals or any NASCAR games nowadays, really hard to pull this move off and make up all those spots because the car just kind of, once the game registers is when you scratch the wall, it just kind of slows it down. Kind of like when you're at like a bumper car ride and the walls are like super like grippy. But at Martinsville, these walls must have been just smooth enough to where he could just ride the walls. And the crazy part of it, and we should probably be thankful for this, thankfully he didn't snag any openings in the wall, like for when they allow the haulers to get through and all that stuff, and like just people to exit the track or whatever, like those doors they have on the wall so people can get in and out. Thankfully, he didn't snag any of that, but he really dug into this wall. And I believe this car is with a piece of the wall in the Trackhouse shop, which is pretty cool. They kept it as a memory, but I'm telling you, Joey Logano called his Martinsville win his championship car, because without that move, Logano would not win the 2018 champion when he moved Truex out of the way. So I bet if Ross Chastain won the championship, he probably would have called this his championship car, which is kind of funny. I bring that up because Martinsville has had some pretty crazy moments before the championship races, and it's really special for some of these drivers. And Ross Chastain now has a memory of his own. It's going to live on forever. He has t-shirts of Haul the Wall. He got people recreating this move in video games and even in real life, crazily enough. The Cletus McFarland thing, I think it was. Was it him or someone else that had the... Oh, I'm having a brain freeze right now, guys. Those Crown Vics. One of these YouTubers actually wall rode it, and Ross Chastain was there, which is pretty cool. They put like little wheels on the front corners, kind of like what Kenny Wallace brought up in his videos. Like they put like what, shopping cart wheels or something, skateboard wheels, and they just kind of rode the wall. It was pretty funny to see that car got just junked. And one last thing during this 360 view of this diecast, you know, it's really cool to have this diecast, man. It's so awesome to see it made, that this wall ride actually worked, and that they actually did a diecast for it. Pretty cool to have it. That's really the main reason I got it, was because it was the Authentics line with the correct windshield banner, and it was paying tribute to one of the craziest moves we've seen in NASCAR on a short track. And by the way, it was the fastest lap ever turned by a stock car, and he went from like 10th or 15th to like 5th place with that one move, which is just crazy to think that he made up that much ground grinding the wall while everyone else is actually riding the bottom the way you would at Martinsville. But this guy just wall rode it in 5th gear. Still the craziest thing I've ever seen on live television. And I really didn't even know it was actually happening until the replay. Like it actually, I literally lost track of it because I was so focused on Christopher Bell getting the win that I forgot about this guy, Ross Chastain. But you know, a pretty cool diecast. I like having this. Like I said, I'm gonna have to display it in one of these. There. I'll probably put it in something. The sticker doesn't fit, sadly, but it's in a case like that, so that you can see like the wall-ridden damage right there. But yeah, pretty cool diecast. And here's the sticker that it came with once again, if I can get it. Here it is. Here's the car, and here is the sticker. I haven't had to show this off in a while because I haven't looked at these race versions in quite some time. But here it is. So this is what you got right here for the Ross Chastain wall ride. So the sticker and the car. Pretty cool to see, right? If I can zoom in on it. I know the lighting has really been throwing me off with this new setup. But here it is. Very cool. And I would have displayed it in a box that you could see the right side, because the box that it came with, you can only see the left side. But like if they done it like this just for that one car, that would have been cool. But yeah, that is Ross Chastain and his 2022 wall ride diecast. Pretty cool to have this. I know some kids are going to want to have this in their collection, and other adult collectors as well, because it's just so unique. It's a pretty much a Checkers or Records diecast, just released in the Authentics, which I find to be pretty cool. Now there's more of this diecast out there. This would have been honestly a cool Winner Circle diecast, but it didn't win, so that's why they didn't do it there. But still a cool car, cool race version. So thank you all for checking out this diecast review. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next diecast review. And always, please share these videos with your friends and family so we can have some more followers here on the Project 94 channel. And make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals in your diecast, and we're going to wall ride our way onto the next diecast review.